This is a different type of video. Definitely not the one I intended to make, but I love data. I love stats. So should you. And well, here we are. Because let's be real, it's not every day we get to talk about the mighty godlike struggling, right? Especially not in the element. And yet, here we are, search and destroy in the current CODM circuit has been a bit of a sore spot for them. Whether it was against Q9, then DBS, or even Seoul in the Stage 3 World Championship Finals, the one we didn't get to witness, all thanks to Activision. Well, anyway, one thing has been consistent. They're not closing out SND the way we are used to. But before you think this is going to turn into video, they should have flanked right, or why didn't he rotate? They should have pushed B kind of video. No, that's not what this is. We're not pundits here. I got no idea what was the call in the comms, what Viper or Learn as the IGL said, what the coach wanted them to do. What we do have is data, and data doesn't argue, it just reveals. So, today we are going to look without judgment and see what SND has looked like for Godlike over the last few matches. Okay, let's start with the most impactful start of any SND round, the first pick, the first blood. In 25 total rounds across the Q9 and DVS matches in CDM, whoever got the first kill won the round 87% of the time. Read that again. 87% of the time. When Godlike got the first kill, they won 9 out of 10 of those rounds. 9 out of 10 of those rounds. When Q9 or DVS got that first frag, Godlike won just 2 out of 15. It's a pattern that's hard to ignore. And it puts a big spotlight on Abhiz and Skalji, Godlike's two snipers, where they're alive and landing that first bullet, the round unfolds in Godlike's favor almost all the time. The moment they're picked off early, the round collapses, not slowly but instantly. The structure, the trades, the map control, it just disappears for Godlike. This kind of pattern shows how reliant the team is on those first fights, those first picks. There isn't much evidence of recovery or adaptability when the round starts with a disadvantage. Long story short, first blood equals to round win almost every single time for Godlike. Okay, now let's split things into two phases. How were they performing on attack versus defense? Versus Q9 in Kuruhana, first half, Godlike was on attack. A dream start for them. They win the first 3 rounds. Every time they plant, it's with a man advantage. Bombs go down early. They average like 1 minute 15 seconds on the clock when the bomb goes down. And post plant control is absolutely clean. 2 or 3 players usually survive. But then the tide turns. Q9 starts countering, adjusts sniper positions, and Godlike loses the opener in 4 consecutive rounds. The result? A 5-3 halftime. Q9 is now leading from 0-3 to 5-3. Okay. Second half, Godlike is on defense now. Here things get a little dicey. Godlike only wins 2 out of 6 defensive rounds. Most of the losses come from being caught too far back behind, playing passive setups, and giving up side control too early. Again, and now we talk about DVS in Tunisia. First half was like Godlike was on defense. Okay, DVS pushes B side like 5 times. Plants typically happen around the 1 minute mark. Godlike fails to stop entries or contest map control. In 8 rounds, they only plant or retake with a man advantage only once. Only once. And then second half, Godlike comes into attack. Major improvement here. They plant with an advantage 6 out of 7 rounds, winning most of them. Prevail becomes the spearhead, getting first picks, opening sites. Bomb starts to go down really fast, side gets controlled, and the post plant look structured again for Godlike. See the pattern here? On attack, when Godlike gets the first frag and plants early, they're absolutely deadly. On defense or under pressure, they struggle hard. Alright, let's talk about bomb plant timings and how it connects to round success. Across both matches, when Godlike planted with a numbers advantage and a 40-50 seconds left on the clock, they won the vast majority of these rounds. But when they planted under pressure, outnumbered, or after rotating too early or too late actually, like under like 20 seconds or something, they were almost guaranteed to lose the round. The takeaway: bomb plant timing plus player advantage equals to a winning formula for Godlike. Late plans or panic plays with fewer players left, that formula just breaks. Against DVS alone, Godlike planted with advantage 6 times and won nearly every time. Any round they planted late or without numbers lost absolutely cleanly. Now, here's where things get a bit more critical, and this is something that the data really hammers down. If you look at Godlike's playstyle, there's a clear pattern of early man advantages that's being hurting them more than it should. And a big part of this traces back to Prevail's role. Prevail runs the shotgun, and his job is essentially sacrificial entry, maybe, if I can put it that way. In Tunisia, he's sneaking mid to B, mid to A, all these stuff, taking those risky flanks and side entries. In Kuruhana is the same story. He's the guy willing to take the first bullet to get info or create a little space for the team. But here's the problem with that approach. The data shows that when Godlike loses a player early, sniper or otherwise, they struggle massively to recover. We're talking about a team that goes from 90% round win rate with first picks to barely 15% when they're playing catch up. So you've got Prevail playing this high risk sacrificial role, but the team's foundation isn't built to win those 4v5 situations. It's a tactical contradiction, actually. Look, this might not bite them against lower tier teams or in a group stage, even in stage 3 of World Championships. But when they hit the world stage or CDM playoffs, elimination matches where clutch factor and disadvantage scenarios are part of the game, this weakness becomes a serious liability. The reality is this: at the highest level, you will be forced into clutch situations. You will have rounds where you're down a man or two and still need to close out. Team like Wolves or Q9 or other international squads, they thrive in those pressure moments. Right now, Godlike strategy seems to rely heavily on not getting into those disadvantageous positions in the first place, but that's not realistic for a championship level play. The takeaway: either Prevail's sacrificial role needs to be more calculated. By the way, he's doing really good. He's getting those picks for Godlike. Timing those entries better, maybe getting more consistent trades, maybe provide Prevail a better support. Viper's doing that job tremendously. Or the team needs to develop better systems for playing from behind. Maybe, just maybe. I'm not an analyst. Because when you're on the world stage, disadvantage scenarios aren't optional. They're, in a way, inevitable, I guess. Where does that leave us? Godlike is clearly experimenting. Viper might be stepping into the IGL shoes, roles are shifting, setups are changing. And yes, some moments do show promise, especially the attacking half against DVS, but the numbers don't lie at all. This team's S&D depends heavily on winning that first duel, planting early with map control, setting up strong trades and post plants. When any of those fall apart, the round usually does too. They're not far off, actually. The pieces are there. The structure feels like it's just waiting to click, right? And if this experimental phase turns into a cohesive system, they could absolutely return to dominate, and especially SND. That's a cakewalk for them. So, this was the video, guys. It was an attempt to produce a different kind of content for the audience who are just really invested in CDM at the moment. If you found this video insightful, drop a like maybe, or let me know down below. Where do you think GodLike needs to tighten up? Is the experimentation worth it, or should they fall back to what worked before? Don't forget to subscribe. This was Rainix, signing off. I'll see you around.